York's classic rock, Q1043.
We are happy to welcome Tom Segura, one of the biggest stars in the entire world of comedy, but that's not all. He's an actor and a writer and a podcaster with an audience of what is it, a gazillion? Is it up to a gazillion people?
4 gazillion, correct.
And he's at his home in Texas right now. And I can see him on the screen here because this is on Zoom, and we may post this later on so that you can see as well. But that's pretty cool what you've got there. That's what I see in the background in your place.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Looks good. Looks
home
good.
office. Yeah.
Yeah, we should design our studio backdrop to look cool like that.
Well, if we had his kind of booze set up behind him,
yeah,
love that too.
I know. I see a lot of empty bottles back there. What are
they
those?
empty? Oh no, they're full. They need to be empty.
Oh, they're full. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're full, man.
That's your brand, right?
Well,
that's my brand. Yeah.
Well, the last tour was the "I'm Coming Everywhere" world tour, over 300 shows, and the new tour is the Come Together tour.
Come together. Yes. Let's all get together. Let's spend some time laughing. Let's unite. Let's not fight for an hour and a half. That's it. Let's just get along.
That sounds good to me.
It's a good marketing name, right?
Yes, it's a great marketing name. I'm Coming Everywhere was also a good marketing name because you were going all over the world.
Dude, I think I did go everywhere. It was the most exhausting approach to touring, and I learned lessons on that, which is don't say yes to every single offer that you ever get, because on paper you're like, yeah, that'll be great, and then you get to the beginning of that month and you're like, wait a minute, are there 27 shows in 30 days? And it just wears you out. But this tour has been so much more fun. And, it's just like, it's a good time. I'm doing like 3 shows in a week, maybe take another week off. You end up having way more energy. You're like excited to go to the next show, and it's a more manageable lifestyle and pace to it all. And so, yeah, I've really learned how to do it.
Well, you've done the theater at Madison Square Garden before, correct?
Yes, I did do that on the last tour.
Okay. Well, this time it's the big arena.
This time it's I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, by the way. None of this feels normal. I think when you do any arena, you're like, this is insane. And
yes, but this is the world's most famous arena.
Exactly. That's what I mean too. It's like when you're like, all right, you're doing the Garden, it's like, that is just, yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around, because it is like the biggest, the best of them all. And I've been there I've seen comedy there. I popped onto a show there just to do like a set once, and I've been to a Knicks game there. So it's like being in that environment, and you see like everybody who's been there. It is like a cool one. There's nothing quite cooler than that.
And that will be on Saturday, March 29th. That's Saturday.
Saturday, man. There's no better day to get.
Saturday at Madison Square Garden.
It's as cool as it gets, man.
Are there any tickets left at all? I know, March 29th. But the tickets go on sale tomorrow. So there are tickets left.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because your friend,
just so it's clear, all the tickets are left currently.
Yes, but your friend Bert Kreischer,
yes,
complained to us about your ability to instantly sell out all performances.
That's really flattering.
He was here with us. He was here with us live one day. You were also in town. He was out of his mind because his show in Brooklyn wasn't sold out, and your show at the theater at Madison Square Garden was, and he was blaming you for being there the same night that he was in Brooklyn.
Well, if I can have that effect, I would do that everywhere to him. I would love to make him sweat. It doesn't really work that way. I'm happy that it did that day. I'm glad that I gave him heart palpitations about his show, but Yeah, I guarantee that I'm just as needy of people getting tickets to my show.
Okay, and there's a special pre-sale. So that's tomorrow morning at 10.
Yes.
There's a special pre-sale with the code Tommy.
Yes, TOMMY. That's the early access before the general on sale, which is Friday. So you get access to the best seats if you do the pre-sale.
And you can get your tickets at tomsegura.com/tour. What does your brain have to go through to create another show after you've just toured three 300 locations
Dude,
around the world?
it's the worst. I'll tell you. I've done it now, I think 6 times. What happens is you record your special, it comes out, and you go, I don't know how I'll ever come up with another 5 minutes. Like you just go, there's nothing left in my brain. And the truth is, it's like anything, you have to do it like piece by piece. So you end up the way I do it is I'll go to the club locally. I'll just pop on to do 5 or 10 minutes. You know, most of it you're like, that was a disaster. Maybe you come up with like a minute or two, but this thing happens where like if you just keep doing it, it's like trying to lose weight. You're like, you just got to go back to the gym. You got to eat healthy. You do it little by little, and all of a sudden in like a couple months you're 20 minutes to 30 minutes of new stuff, and you're like, oh, there's something there. And then you start doing like club weekends, and it slowly builds. The whole time you're just full of anxiety, or I am, I should say, where I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to happen. And then it's like, it feels magical. It's like you're a few more months in and you're like, oh, I have 45 minutes. Like I'm almost there. And this one it was like that, that last special Sledgehammer came out, and I was just like, slowly working towards it and putting it together. And then, yeah, like 6 months later, I was like, okay, I have a new show. But you have to just do the work.
Is there something that you do where thoughts come to you, ideas come to you?
It's not so much that as like, it's like you have to start focusing. Like if you go, I'm not going to focus, I'm just going to magically think it's going to just all arrive. It doesn't quite work like that, but it is like turning an antenna on. It's like you just have to get like tuned into it, and then your brain starts to go like, you can't be lazy is my point. You have to like direct your energy into things, and then you just start picking up on things you're like, oh yeah, or you start saying things in conversation, and it's great when you have comedian friends who are like, that's a bit, you got to like work that out. So it's just putting like your energy and your focus into it, and then it just starts to come together, like the name of my tour. So, like,
Trevor, you have a
just
question?
have to like to
Well,
do it.
Between Two Bears, One Cave and your mom's house, you do all these podcasts. How do you not let the special like seep into your because you do so many episodes, like seep
Yeah.
into that?
Well, it almost has I think the opposite effect happens where you're podcasting. And the great thing about podcasting is, the way that you say something really funny is you have to say a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? Like a silent person isn't funny. So you're talking so much on podcasts that sometimes the origin of a bit happens in that. So sometimes people who see your stand-up go, I remember you talking about something similar on a podcast. And you're like, yeah, that was the genesis of this idea. Like I had a conversation like on this show, and you say something and you're like, oh, maybe there's something there. And so it evolves past that. There's other mediums that you work in, and I think they all kind of feed each other in a way, right? They kind of feed each other. But yeah, it just comes from literally talking a lot is how you end up coming up with, I think, good stand-up.
Well, your podcast couldn't be more different. I mean, you've got Two Bears, One Cave with Bert Kreischer, and then your mom's house you do with your wife.
Yes. And they're
And
totally
Bert and your wife are very different people.
Yeah, I mean,
Although maybe
pretty
you've
much,
seen Bert naked more, but I mean,
it's pretty close. I mean, also working with Bert is like working with a guy you see, kind of standing on the subway, maybe being like, I'm going to dance for you guys. And you're like, we just want to get to work, man. You know? So like, it is like working with a crazy person and then with a nice lady. So
Well, Shelley has actually seen his butt, you know, I mean,
I did side butt.
That was our last Zoom interview.
yeah.
So I don't know
I
how
have
you can top that.
I have more nude photos of him than I care to have, to be honest with you.
Tom Segura is with us. So Madison Square Garden, that show is Saturday, March 29th. You know, I had a really weird dream last night that disoriented me, and I woke up and I was very confused, and I had a hard time discerning reality from dreamland. And I apologize for, you know, losing my mind and believing that it's March next year already. But
That's what you just said before.
I know it's
Yeah,
what I
that was
said
a little
before.
weird.
That was a
Is
little
that because
strange.
you dreamed it was March?
I
Was
don't
that part of your
I don't
dream?
know. And Trevor was talking to me about next March this morning, and it was just all very weird. But Madison Square Garden, I mean, and you are best known, you know, for like these awesome, huge, successful Netflix specials. And there was the book, I'd Like to Play Alone, Please. Coming
Yes.
up with a title for a book must be even harder than coming up
Dude.
with a bit for the stage.
all the naming things are so frustrating. Like whenever you shoot a special, they're like, what are you going to call it? And you're like, I don't know. Some of these guys, I honestly think they have it figured out when they go, it's called My Name from This City, because they just give up on it, right? Like they're just like, it's me from Houston. And you're like, yeah, great title. So yeah, naming things is always I'm going into production right now on my Netflix series. I have a 6-episode series that we're about to start shooting in 2 weeks, and it's still on all the scripts and everything. It just says, I don't know if I can show you here. Like it still says, untitled Tom Segura show.
Yes, I see.
I don't know how to name these things. The book, I'd Like to Play Alone, Please, is because that was my oldest kid's first sentence to me. First full sentence was, I'd like to play alone, please. And I was like, real
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, that sounds like a scarring experience.
Yeah.
It kind of was. I mean, I literally, he was saying all these like 2-word and 3-word sentences, but he had never said a full sentence to me. And I went and I walked into the room and I sat next to him, and he was on the floor, like in the little playroom, and I was playing, and I grabbed something, I handed it to him, and he just goes, I'd like to play alone, please. And I was like,
Well, it's Tom Segura, Madison Square Garden, the Come Together Tour, Saturday, March 29th next year. Pre-sale tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern time, our time zone, with the code Tommy. Is that what you were called before you were famous?
anybody close to me calls me Tommy. My family of origin, my good friends, they all call me Tommy. And again, it's another thing. They're like, hey, what do you want your code word to be? You're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. What am I supposed to, should it be ha 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 ha? I don't know. So how about Tommy? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And people can get tickets and check out all the info about you and all the things that you've got going on at tomsegura.com/tour.
Yes.
Or just tomsegura.com, and that's spelled Segura.
Correct. And the tour is, like I said, it's been a blast, this tour. We're doing a lot of places. We're going to be announcing our European tour soon. Another thing is there's some good that we do with this tour. We donate a portion of our proceeds to World Central Kitchen, which is the Jose Andres organization that they set up places to feed people anywhere there's any type of disaster, natural disaster, war zone. Incredible organization. And we just donated to them this week $100,000. So
Wow.
Wow.
Well done.
That's awesome. So congratulations to you on the tour, and also for really getting involved in taking the artistry that lives within you and turning it into a way to benefit other people as well, besides the laughter.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot you can do, but I'm a big fan of him and that organization. They're very cool. And yeah, I'm thrilled to be doing it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tom Segura.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
guys for having me.
early.
I hope to see you in March of 2020.
Right. Of next
March.
year.
Next
Right.
year.
Yes.
It's not, it's by the way, all the tickets are available.
Right. Every one.
Every
Every
single one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you
thanks
guys
a-
so much for having
Thanks a
me.
lot, Tom.
New York's classic rock. Q1043.